without really using it, and I was not going to use it anyways.
Nice.
Probably good for John's speech about recycling, but hey. Yeah, throw it in the trash. My speech is about sports, and I'm supposed to persuade you guys about going to a game. My question is, I want to know from some of the people why you guys don't really like sports and not involved in sports. Who's one of the people that said they don't like sports in general?
Not really. I just look at the guys I don't like it that it's guys teams that get all the attention, and it's not as much for the women's teams.
I actually don't know about that one because I mean, my fraternity is a big fan of the volleyball team here.
That's different though.
Yeah, well no.
That's different. That's not.
I know it's different.
Don't use that excuse, man.
I know it's different, but actually if you go to the volleyball games here at Portland State, there's actually quite a lot of people supporting them. Not only guys, but I mean a lot of females.
Women's tennis too.
Short shorts.
I'm glad you know that one, Julia.
I like watching sports, but I don't like all the noise, so I just watch it on mute. I like to go to a team.
That's actually a very, very valid response because I mean, there is a lot of noise and you got to get used to it. But then there's some people that do like sports like myself, and I know Leo actually is one of the other people. Let's find out why Leo likes sports.
Good spot.
Yeah.
I like it because it depends on like what you're following and what you're doing. I see like every like since I'm a filmmaker, I like to see a lot of the stories, a lot of the personal stories between the athletes, and a lot of like if you go to a pro game, you're seeing like the best of the best play. You're seeing like an enormous amount. Like those people are like a tiny portion of the amount of people who are trying to make it in that sport. So that's a really big thing.
Okay, he has that point true. I mean, there is a lot of work. I know personally for myself, when I played football in high school, I always liked walking on the field and just hearing the entire stadium erupt in chaos just because you're out there. Growing up in Forest Grove for school, there was a ton of community support, and that's the one thing I don't see really around Portland. I mean, I know the cost for sports is expensive, and that's one of my topics right there. I know that it can be boring, but there's ways to avoid being boring. And the other one's the community. I actually have some handouts, so I'm going to pass them around after my speech about some of the events that's going on with Portland State, and I actually have the Beavers. Well, there's a game tonight at 7 to 5 in PG Park. It's very exciting. Going with the expenses, I looked at the Blazers game tickets just for a single game. And I know for students' perspective, that is actually very expensive. I know that's why I don't go to the to the Blazers games, but I also kind of don't support them, but I do in some ways. For example, the tickets range from $10 to $131, and I'm sorry, but that's a little rich from a college student's blood, especially mine. And I actually found that on their website, just goofing around on the website. Then there's the Beavers games that is actually very cost effective for us, because the typical ticket was like $8. That's actually pretty reasonable. I mean, I can take, for example, I can just take it like a $20 bill out and be like, hey, I want to go to the game. Does anybody else want to go? And just see by a show of hands, who would want to go to a game if I paid for it? I may do that. But I don't know about tonight, though.
I want to go.
And for actually PSU, how many of you know what the cost is to go to a PSU game if you're a student?
Free.
0.
Free.
Louder?
It doesn't cost any money.
Thank you. And that is true. For the football games, what I'm actually hoping to get on the team, you can go over to the ticket box office in Smith and Memorial Union. Like, I want a ticket. Here's my student ID. Ooh, I get a ticket. And you get in. Come on, how easy is that? we get free events that we can go to just because we are students. And that brings me to my second point. It can be boring. I don't want to go. There's nothing to do. Well, let me tell you this. If you go with a group of friends, hey, there's a party and a party because the stadium is packed with all the bands from PSU. Students, and plus the beer garden is pretty nice over there. But that's not, don't listen to me because I'm not of age. But I know John over there, John's like, oh, beer. What's a nice thing? I mean, you can actually make it a family event too by taking your parents. Another thing is, by being boring, going to a Beavers game. I know actually I took my dad to a baseball game for Father's Day a couple of years ago to a college game in California. He had a blast. I know I had a blast. I caught freaking home runs, so I was happy, so hey. That's always a good thing. You get free souvenirs too. It's always fun. But we had a family. Yeah, we had a blast because we were family and that was fun. Actually, with the Beavers games, I heard Thursday night, $1 beers. I mean, if you're 21, hey, just go see a game. I mean, it's cheap. We can afford it. And it also brings the community up in spirit because what's more important, community or no community support. That's my difference. But in conclusion, I just wanted you guys to have fun because it's one of our last speeches. And I just wanted to say thanks for letting me give it. And I hope you guys go to a game. I mean, if I played football, I would want to see one of you. I mean, the Margaret, Bill, Mike, John, Eugene, Jason, Jeff, John, any of you just come out. I mean, I would have a blast seeing you guys. Thanks.